The Libra Equinox, the balance, the fall, poetic justice. Happy Libra season. My name is Eliane-Nicole. I'm your astrologer and tarot reader, and in this video, I'm going to talk about what the Sun ingress chart into Libra means for Libra season, as well as the entire fall season. But first, I want to say, if you're watching this video on Instagram, I'm only going to post the first 5 minutes here. The entire video will be available on my YouTube channel, Eliane-Nicole. My YouTube channel is my name, Eliane-Nicole, so please find me there. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. Please make sure to hit the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Please like, please comment, please share. It all helps me out in the algorithm, so I'm in a position to continue to give these free astrological offerings. And if you're watching on Instagram, please make sure that you are following me at astrology.tarot.eliane-nicole. Please like on Instagram. Please comment on Instagram as well, because that always helps me in the algorithm. But make sure that you go to YouTube, because I'm only posting the first 5 minutes of the video on Instagram, and the entire video will be available on YouTube channel. And as I embark upon this reading, I don't know how long it's going to be, because I don't go by a script. I study the astrology, and then I give a channeled reading, just live. And so, without further ado, here is my interpretation of the Sun's ingress chart into the sign of Libra. And there are always going to be the general properties about Libra season, because every year we have a Libra season, and that is the autumnal equinox. And this is the point in the year where we reach the balance, meaning the day and the night are of equal length. And that's how, the scales of balance are the symbol of Libra, the scales of justice. It's the balance of the day and the night. It's the balance of the light and the dark. And there are general properties of this time of the year that we all experience every year in Libra season, as the sun and the moon, or the day and the night, reach their balance. There's also an adjustment period for us on planet Earth in terms of how we adjust our lives to, the time of the year when the nights are going to become progressively longer and the days progressively shorter as we head deeper into the fall towards the winter season. And the scales of justice have many meanings, in places where you can visibly see the change of the seasons. The leaves are changing colors, and that's a very beautiful time of the year. Libra is associated with beauty. Libra is associated with, it's a very social time of the year. There's a lot of parties. Libra is an air sign. Air signs are very social. And beauty and justice and truth those concepts were all related to the ancients. And so Libra is definitely associated with all of those qualities: beauty, truth, justice, diplomacy, balance, equanimity. And but even though we have a Libra season every year, each year when the sun ingresses into Libra, meaning the sun is at 0 degrees Libra, all of the other planets in the sky might be in different places from year to year. And that's what gives each year its specific, personal, unique flavor. And so I do want to talk about the qualities of the ingress chart into Libra this year. As the sun enters Libra this year, the moon is at 1 degree Gemini. So the moon and the sun are in a trine. And this makes for a very sociable season, not just for Libra season, but for the entire fall. This is good for communication and conversations and networking and socializing. And the themes are always going to play out a little bit differently in our personal lives than for the collective. And I want to look at both in this reading because this is an important time for the collective. We have a huge election coming up during this Libra season. And so I think that this ingress chart really tells a lot about the election that we have coming up. You know, the sun in Libra is also trine Uranus out of sign. And so Uranus is currently at the 27th degree of Taurus. And so there's a lot of pleasant surprises that are associated with this season, things that we don't see coming. It's an out of sign trine. So in a way, it's in our blind spot at the same time as there's this harmonious trine. There are these surprises for the collective. And I really look at the aspects that the sun in this ingress chart that is making to Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus as being more of the collective experiences. The sun is opposing Neptune in an out of sign opposition. And, you know, you don't have to understand all of the jargon to understand the interpretations. I just say that for the people who are students of astrology who might want to know how I'm arriving at these interpretations. But if all of that makes no sense to you, you can just ignore it and just listen for the part where I say what it means and still really get a lot out of these videos. But the out of sign opposition to Neptune in Pisces is showing that that everything, you know, there are some illusions, there are some fantasies, there are some deceptions and lies that are going on in the justice system, you know. And you know, so Libra is so much about law and about justice. But this ingress chart shows that we are dealing with a lot of the darker sides of the legal system and the darker underbelly of the justice system during this season, this Libra season and the entire fall season. There's a lot that is obscured from view. There are backroom deals being made. There are things that, there is more than meets the eye around the justice system and the legal system in several different areas. And there are things going on with the powers that be that we can't see. But there's nothing that the universe can't see. There's nothing that God can't see. And that's what's so interesting about this time. There are abuses of power that are definitely taking place. But those abuses of power are going to be accounted for. You know, there may be very powerful and very wealthy people who think that they're getting away with things, but the universe has the ultimate say in justice. And so there are things going on the level of planet Earth, but then there are things going on a meta level that those who are in the power to affect things on the earthly plane are still going to have to account for. And these are the twists and turns that we are going to see during this whole entire fall season. And so it's really interesting to read, you know, because there's both levels going on. And the sun in Libra is making a trine to Pluto in Capricorn, which is interesting because it's a within the sign trine. And but at the same time, the Libra's ruler, the sun's ruler, Venus, is at the 29th degree of Capricorn in the Libra ingress chart. So even though Venus will move into Scorpio and then into Sagittarius through the fall season, this signature of Venus being at the 29th degree of Libra is going to color the entire Libra season and the entire fall season. And this 29th degree of Libra is, again, it's about the dark side of justice. It's about the dark side of the law. And Venus is in a very powerful position, but is she abusing her power? There's a by any means necessary tone to her position in a way. And is that truly fair? What is truly fair? What is truly just? You know, these are questions that we're going to be exploring through this season. The outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are all in harmonizing aspects to each other. And these are the planets that have to, you know, whole generations are born with these signs in the same planet. And they're all changing signs next year. So the landscape of our lives is about to completely shift and change in 2025. But right now, these planets are all reaching the final stages of signs that they've been in for a very long time. Neptune has been in the same sign since 2012. It's been in Pisces. Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. So we're reaching the end of these very long overlapping cycles in our lives that we're wrapping up right now. And Venus in this ingress chart, who is the sun's ruler, is interacting with all of these planets. And she's in the sign of justice. She's in the sign of beauty. She's in the sign of our social interactions, our relationships, you know. In our personal lives, there's a lot about, you know, power dynamics in relationships. Venus at 29 degrees Libra is squaring Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. You know, this is about the power dynamics in relationships. So there's a lot going on here. Mars is in Cancer during this ingress chart, squaring Lilith, the dark feminine, you know, and Mars is debilitated in Cancer. And this has a lot to do with, on a personal level, this has a lot to do with family dynamics and family karma and some of the darker topics, you know, family secrets that are might be creating some challenges or conflicts that are coming in the fall. And for America, there is a lot of, you know, when Black Moon Lilith is square Mars, you know, there's a threat. There's been a lot just in general in the astrology that's indicating threats to homeland security that we're going to be dealing with in this fall season. And as the election approaches, there's some really specific astrology around that I'm probably going to do a separate video about. But, you know, for the collective, homeland security is a big topic, and the power dynamics around that. But in our personal lives, you know, home security, family safety and security, these are big themes. Family secrets, rising to the surface, creating conflicts and challenges. These are big themes that we're going to be dealing with through the fall season, leading all the way to the winter solstice, which is just before Christmas. There is a lot. Mars in Cancer is also opposing Ceres in Capricorn, which has a lot to do with food. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole because I don't want the video to be too long, but there are a lot of collective issues around food that are in the astrology that we need to be thinking about and that we need to be facing. Our food is making us sick. Our relationship to food is making us ill, particularly in America. And this is something that we are going to have to push back against and address as a collective. You know, capitalism causes cancer. You know, when I was a little girl back in the olden days, you know, growing up in the 70s and the 80s, it was so rare that people got cancer. And now it's just like an everyday thing. Look at how our lifestyles have changed from then to now. Why did it used to be a rare occurrence and now it's like an expected thing that happens to everybody? How have we accepted that? So much of it has to do with our lifestyle. So much of it has to do with capitalism and, you know, corporate profiting over, you know, lifestyle things that make us sick. Why is everything in plastic? Why are we okay with that? Why are there 1,000 ingredients? Why are people eating things with ingredients that they don't even recognize and understand? Why are there so many pesticides? Why are we not pushing against this as masses? Because it's clearly making us sick and killing us. And I don't want to go too much down that rabbit hole, but this is reflected in the Mars in Cancer opposition to Ceres in Capricorn. The food is a big issue that we need to address. It's everything. What we put into our bodies and how we nourish ourselves is everything. Mars square Black Moon Lilith, I talked about. So Libra season in general, though, there's a lot about, I mean, you know, on the more superficial level, there's going to be a lot of fun parties, a lot of fun socializing. It's a great season for parties and you know, getting together with our friends and having a good time. I mean, that's the thing, is that we do, despite the dark underbelly of justice and the bigger things that are going on in the world with around power and greed and capitalism and how it's completely destroying our world, we still do have to find the pockets of joy. We still do have to have fun. We still do have to have a good time and raise our vibration, because we have to be happy and joyful regardless of what else is going on, because we can't have that robbed from us on top of all of the other kind of darker things that might be happening in the world. And so there is this balance that needs to occur between having an awareness of the darker side, Libra, the balance, having an awareness of the darker things that are going on, and finding our strength to push back against these things so that we can reclaim our world and, you know, imagine and create a better future. But then we've also got to have fun. And so this Libra balance, you know, is here. And it's the balance between the heart and the mind. It's the balance between our spiritual nature and our earthly nature. It's the balance between what we need to give to our relationships and how we need to nurture and care for ourselves, so that we're in a strong position to show up for those relationships, and that we're not draining ourselves and just giving to our relationships and not fortifying ourselves. All of these themes are being explored in Libra season this year. And, you know, there's a Mercury square to Jupiter in the ingress chart as well, which is really, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole either. If you're interested in knowing about all of the transits in the ingress chart and what it means for your fall season and your Libra season, definitely contact me for a reading. I read on Zoom, so I can read for people anywhere in the country and anywhere in the world. But I have to be careful in these general readings. You know, there's so many levels, there's so much that I can get into, and I don't want to make the video too long. But I do want to touch on things that give a broad stroke idea of what to expect, not only in Libra season, but in the fall season in particular, because that's the Libra season ingress chart tells about the entire 3 months, just like the Cancer season ingress chart tells about the entire summer. And then the Capricorn season ingress chart tells about the entire winter, because that's why Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, they're the cardinal signs. They start the season. So they're the initiators, they're the bosses. They don't just tell a story about their month, although they do, but they tell a story about the entire season. They're the leaders. These are the pivotal turning points of the year, the cardinal turning points of the year that begin each season. And summer is actually officially over, not at Labor Day, but at the autumn equinox. Equinox, tomato. So, Uranus is sextile Neptune, Neptune is sextile Pluto. They're all working together, the outer planets. Again, I talked about that earlier. They're in earth and water signs, fertilizing and growing this new future that we're really stepping into all the way in 2025. We've been straddling the worlds for the past couple of years, and it's kind of coming to this culminating kind of crescendo right now. And happy Libra season. The month of Libra in general is it's very social. Lots of parties, lots of fun, lots of conversations, lots of socializing, but there is, for the collective, there are these themes about justice and equality, but there are themes of power struggles and power dynamics in relationships, power struggles and power dynamics, injustice, and kind of like the darker side of these topics in our personal lives, as well as for the collective. And having to negotiate these darker sides of these topics through this season. Having to face and negotiate. And so thank you for joining me. I hope that this video was insightful. Please like and please comment and please give me feedback. I always want to make these videos better for you. I do it for you. Thank you for joining me. Happy Libra season.